Anyway, hey, guess what? We got another half an hour. It's time for our last break of the show. See, when we're just talking and bullshitting, we can just cover all this stuff, and it's interesting.
Oh, but I want to tell you this. We got to have a little bit of time to talk about that scary thing that I found.
Okay, we got to do that when we come back. Okay, Sam? Okay, we'll be back in 2.5 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark.
Não perde tempo escolhendo a roupa, porque no fim eu sei que vou tirar. Fala tchau pro seu batom na boca e fala oi pra quem te faz pirar. Se você já tá com a mesma sensação, pode vir, gente, que eu tô um vulcão. Tá descontrolada toda essa tara e não para porque a coisa ficou mara. Vou te ganhar no cansaço, no cansaço, no cansaço. Vamos fazer um regaço, um regaço, um regaço. Rolar em altos amassos, amassos, amassos. Vamos fazer um regaço, um regaço, um regaço. Rafa Gomes, digam no beat. Não perde tempo escolhendo a roupa, porque no fim eu sei que vou tirar. Fala tchau pro seu batom na boca e fala oi pra quem te faz pirar. Se você já tá com a mesma sensação, pode vir, que eu tô um vulcão. Tá descontrolada toda essa tara e não para porque a coisa ficou mara. Vou te ganhar no cansaço, no cansaço, no cansaço. Vamos fazer um regaço, um regaço, um regaço.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you.
Roof of Broadcasting Building. I'm speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building, New York City. The bells you hear are ringing to warn the people to evacuate the city as Martians approach. Estimated in the last 2 hours, 3 million people have moved out along the roads to the north. Hutchison River Parkway is still kept open for motor traffic. Floyd bridges to Long Island hopelessly jammed. All communication with Jersey Shore closed 10 minutes ago.
You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
That is me. You're listening to the last half an hour for tonight on a Friday, the 27th of September of Night Dreams Talk Radio. Our guest tonight is Sam Ritchie and my cohort. Well, sometimes James Chrisbaum, while he's eating his sugar-frosted flakes while he's talking and listening to the show.
I most certainly am not. I can't do both at once, you know that.
Oh, yeah. I know how that is. You can't eat and can't talk or at the same time, but, some people do.
I can't do it.
Somebody just did that to me. They just walked in my room and handed me a steak and a whole bunch of potatoes and expected me to eat while I'm doing the show. Crazy.
You got to be multitasking. That's too much for my brain to process, trying to listen and ask some questions and play with mute buttons and then try to eat Frosted Flakes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Hearing that crunching, could you imagine me talking and going, nom, nom, nom? Yeah, no way.
No, I couldn't imagine that.
Hey, Sam, are you still there?
Yeah, I don't think noise canceling would do the trick for that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't think so. So what is important you have to get out there, Sam?
Well,
you dropped down in volume. Have you done something?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
It was. I wanted to get together some audio, which I didn't have a chance, except for what I sent to James. And what happened was, now I'm getting that feedback audio. It wasn't doing that before, but maybe it's just the phone. One of the campouts that I participated in back in June of 2015 with our group, I had the opportunity to leave one of those Macronta, those Radio Shack recorders, in the side pocket of my tent for the express purpose that while I was sleeping, that I could hear the other sounds that were taking place in the forest during that time. Anyway, so there's at least 5.5 hours on this particular MP3 file that I've had a chance to listen to some of it. However, I had to get up about 2 hours after it started. It must have been about 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It's always that magic bewitching hour when things seem to happen anyway. And we had maybe, I don't know, about 6 tents scattered around the camp area. It was a very remote area. It's probably one of the remote places you can get to up in this part of the country. You know, it dead ends out at the bottom next to the west fork of the White River. And so I get up and I said, oh, man, I got one of those small tents. And I'm one of those people, unfortunately, every 2 hours that's got to take a nature call, basically. And so there's a fire pit right next to my tent, but it's already out. And then I'm looking way across the other end of camp, and right in this lone spot is the utility tent that we used as a facility. And I'm saying to myself, I am not going to walk all the way over there in that dark area and do my business, because I'm thinking, oh, there's safety in numbers. I'm in a fairly safe spot, and there's 2 or 3 tents around me. I think I'll just get out of the tent, and since everybody's sleeping, I'll just go off on the side of the tent and take care of my business. So that's when I, unbeknownst to me, I had the recorder going, unfortunately, so it's recording all this. And as I'm getting done with my business, all of a sudden I hear this stick crack, and I hear a galloping, like really hard galloping against the ground. And right in front of me, like within 5 feet, I'm right next to this fire pit, and this big black, what I thought was my friend's dog Gabby, kind of looked like that. On all fours, this big black entity, or a Bigfoot or whatever, juvenile, ran, and then all of a sudden it whipped around the fire pit just extremely fast. I'm just too fast for a dog, or a bear won't even move that fast. And I said, it went, I got that recording where you hear this. I said, Gabby, and it went, and then all of a sudden it pivots around the pit, and then the next thing you hear on the recording is, like a type of sound, and then it just runs off. And I'm thinking, what was that all about? He said, I'm still thinking it's Gabby. So I get in my tent, I guess it's not Gabby. If I just realized that it was something else, I think I would have fell over and passed out. Okay. But so I found that part of the recording, and I since then, over the past 2 or 3 years, had already developed a recording of the specific incident of it galloping around there. You could actually hear it. You could hear it making the sounds before it took off. So I was only focused on that at the time, and that's what got put on YouTube and whatever. For some reason, and I get these strange... a part of me is I deal with more psychic work lately, and I get these inklings as something a voice tells me, not literally, but an urging takes place where it says, you need to go back and listen to that file again. You need to go back and find that audio recording and listen to it. And I did, and I listened to it after I got back in the tent to situate myself. And as I do so, I start to settle down so that all the rustling sounds kind of go away because it's overriding anything. When I finally get calmed down in the tent and everything where I could actually hear something on the recording, I'm listening very carefully to the section right after that, and all of a sudden I'm hearing this very faint banging noise, okay? And then all of a sudden I'm thinking, and it happens again, and then I hear this very faint voice, and I hear it banging and bang. And so I use a software program, Audacity, okay, which is really great for amplifying signals, amplifying audio and taking out the noise and using all the different features to get better clarity to the audio. So when I did that, I had my headphones on because it was necessary to hear that. What I hear is this. I hear banging. I hear bang, bang, bang. But it's almost like the same banging, like if you were locked into a car trunk and you're trying to bang to get out, and then you hear the gagging sounds, like someone going, like that, like they've been gagged and they're banging this trunk. It just sent shivers up my spine when I hear this. And then I hear one other bang, and then the voice that creeped me out worse than anything else, and that I sent James, was if you listen carefully, it says, and I can't say it because it says, all I want to do is just explicit you. And it's a voice that's not monotone. It's a voice that's got reverb to it, like chamber. It's got that echo quality to it. There was no way in the world that could have come from me because it sounded distant, it sounded hollow. And James, I don't know, you've done more ghost research. Have you come across it where the voices tend to have a hollow effect, like reverb or something?
I've heard all kinds. I've heard guttural growl talking. I've heard mimicking of other things. You name it, I've heard all types and variations. Yeah, I was trying to listen to it now. I had on mute here trying to figure out what's going on with it, but I'll probably have to put it on the laptop later to listen to it with the headphones. But, yeah, don't be surprised what you hear. And, wherever you're at camping, who's to say also of, God knows, in the last 300, 400, 500 years of battles between Native Americans and battles between soldiers and Native Americans or just whatever on that land, you just never know.
Well, I'm going to give you I don't know, maybe a disturbing, what am I saying? See, I'm losing words tonight. I can't be doing this before the end of the show. Possibility, kind of a disturbing possibility about it.
What is it?
Sometimes something told me to listen to that, okay? And it's kind of weird. It's not just coincidence I heard something like that, where I hear this banging on what sounds like a car trunk, and then I hear this voice that says it wants to do something to it. So it's obviously addressing someone in this banging situation, and probably a female, okay? And so one of the things that immediately came to me was the fact that many of the victims out here were Gary Ridgway's, the Green Water Killer, the Green River Killer, had went out in Highway 410 out here and had, I think the body count's not over with yet. I mean, that's just speculation on my part. But it just sent shivers up my spine about what this could possibly be, an echo from the past or something. Maybe it was a signal. I mean, me and my friend Anita, who's extremely psychic, are planning to go back down to that camp area so that see if she can feel anything that's going on down there. But this is about 4 years ago since this camp out. And it's just very strange to hear this. I mean, it's just so bizarre. I tried to listen for the rest of it, and I didn't hear anything else. But the one voice was just unbelievable.
No, don't forget, his body count is huge. I mean, he only admitted to very few, and we know that he probably was doing several a week for how many years?
Exactly.
Yeah, several mediums I know, and one other place we were camping out.